K8EWM from WA3VJB. Do you copy?
I do. WA3VJB. I'm just sitting here. Good afternoon. We've spoken before, not often, but name here is Ed, Echo Delta. I'm here in the very northeast corner of Ohio. Good signal.
Yeah, thanks. I also was going to call WB2NEW, and he sounds like he was conducting some engineering tests, so I missed my chance as well, but heard you try, so I said, all right, let me talk to Ed. Yeah, name is Paul, Papa Alpha Uniform Lima. Location Annapolis, the capital of Maryland, where we just had a thunderstorm cell move through, and I see some more on the radar map, so may not stick in here too long, but nice signal into the Chesapeake Bay region. Go ahead.
Yeah, very good, Paul. Playing with a new radio here to me. I've had it for a couple of weeks and just trying to do the best I can on AM. I really enjoy AM. It's not the best for AM, but this is a Yaesu FTDX-10, and I'm running about 5 watts into a Palstar LA1K amplifier, about 125 watt carrier. And the antenna is an 80-meter dipole fed with ladder line. It's only about 40 feet. Over.
Wow. You say the amplifier is on or is not on?
It's on. It's on. 125 watt carrier.
Okay. Well, still, you're doing fine. I heard the first part, and I heard you mention an amplifier, but I didn't know whether it was actually enabled or not, to use a computer term. But a good signal. I'm listening to you on the same receiver as before, but I don't remember how this radio compares. Certainly Q5. The receiver's across the room, so I can't really read a meter on it or something. I'm going to guess you're about 10 to 15 over on what I call the VJB sliding S-unit scale. And that's kind of a way of ranking everybody I encounter on the bands and give them the perception of signal as I receive it. NEW was a little bit stronger than yourself. He was between 15 and 20 over by the same sliding scale, and both of you were overcoming the static crashes just fine, Ed. The FTDX has a lot of potential to sound good, even better than the competitor transceiver from ICOM, the the IC 7300. That's been kind of a darling of transceivers in the multi-mode world, and for a while was the one you most often encountered here in this part of the hobby when someone would check in on AM for the first or an unusual time. And the FTDX that I've encountered on here always seem to sound good as well, so I'll add you to the list. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm an SDR guy. I've had SDR since 2006. About 2 years ago, when I was looking for a knobbed radio, I just wanted one because I was using the Anon so much. With CW and AM being at the forefront, the clear winner was the Kenwood 890. The transmit audio with the internal EQ with this RE-320 mic, it's very, very good audio for what it is. The Yaesu 101, which is basically the same as this, are kind of a distant second, and way in third place would be the ICOM. The 7610 is just, it just doesn't get it on AM. It's very good on CW, but it really lacks for AM. I'm happy with the 10 here. I've heard the recordings with what I'm doing, and it, again, for what I'm using, it's more than reasonable. Over.
Yeah, I was going to send you such a recording, as a matter of fact, that I'm rolling right now off one of the KiwiSDR internet nodes not far from me, so it's the same sort of reception that I'm getting here at home. Be glad to send that off. It's dialed in at about a 6 kc passband, 12 overall, and it looks like it's about 3.5. Nowhere near the capability of the Anon, obviously, but to put your quote into it for what it is, it does a nice job. I think the FTDX-10 has a better low-end response, according to some of the testing done by our friend Brett, N2DTS, who has had both those transceivers. And he has found that, and I have found in recordings of him, that the low-end response is better on the Yaesu than it is on the ICOM. So you're taking advantage of the RE-320. I've got the, I guess it's the older sister to the 320, the RE-27. Electro-Voice had kind of a peculiar way of model nomenclature where the RE-320 suggests it sounds like the RE-20 when actually it sounds like the RE-27 because they both have the same kind of magnet material. And I think they should have named your microphone the RE-327 to tip its hat to the heritage of the RE-27 that I'm running here, Ed. Go ahead.
Yeah, very good. Years ago I picked up a PR40, which was a really reasonable microphone. I've had the RE-20, and I never had an RE-27, although I kind of guess I have one right now. Your analogy is exactly correct. You made a comment about the low end with the ICOMs. I had a 7300. I think everybody did. I think when you become a ham, you're given one. And that was a nice little radio. No complaints. For the price point, it's just an absolute, Swiss Army knife. And really nice to listen to on AM, except for one thing, and I couldn't put my finger on it until somebody else mentioned it. The receive audio on the 7300, I don't know about the 7610, but the 7300, they cut off the bottom 300 hertz of the audio. Is that what you were alluding to, Paul?
Well, I don't know if it does it on receive because I don't have one. I think Brett's assessment, well, I guess it could have been on the receive end because he has better, well, his hearing's not so good. He will readily admit that he doesn't have a whole lot of treble response in his ears. And so it's possible he was referring to the receiver low end at that, rather than the transmit audio. Although, as I said, I had noted in recordings that I had made under identical circumstances that the low-end response of the Yaesu on transmit, in other words, as I received it, seemed more wholesome than that of the Yaesu, the ICOM 7300. And I laughed when you said, that's the radio everybody gets when they get their license. Yeah, it's true. It's really true. That became such a popular radio, Ed. I don't know if you knew it or not, but a couple of years ago during the nationwide AM rally, you swap the name of the rig that you're running and it goes into the spreadsheet that the organizers compile. And of all the radios listed in the AM rally a few years ago, the IC7300 was the most popular one, which knocked me right off the chair. I couldn't believe it. But that testifies as to its popularity. K8EWM WA3VJB at the bottom.
Okay, Paul, well, probably getting a little difficult here. I got that 100%. I think we better cut it short here. That file, were you going to send it? You're going to email me that file over?
Yeah, if your email is good on QRZ, I will email that to you. It'll be a YouTube link. How's that?
That'd be great. Thank you very much. Yeah, conditions are deteriorating between us. So, yeah, I'm anxious to hear what you were hearing. Yeah, the 7300 it cut off the bottom 300 hertz, so you don't get that full plate modulated audio on the receive. It'll receive out to 9 kc. It's a nice receiver. Transmit's not the same. And I've had both the 7300. I've had a lot of radios, and this FTDX-10. There's absolutely no comparison between the two receivers, depending on what you want to do. For the casual guy, 7300 is great, really, really good. As a matter of fact, especially for $1,000, brand new. Imagine that 20 years ago. Paul 73, appreciate it. WA3VJB from 73 from Kilowatt Echo Whiskey Mike.
Okay, yeah, I heard somebody else in there too asking me if I was able to collect myself off the floor, and the answer to that is yes. So let me pick up with them, Ed. I'm hearing the static crashes gaining in amplitude, so I'm not going to stick in here very long. But I'll render that file and mail it off to you with my kind regards for saying hello this evening, sticking in here a little bit. Other station, go ahead, WA3VJB.
Well, good evening to you. Paul. This is Kilo, Delta 2 Alpha Foxtrot Lemur. It's Daryl, and I'm working something new here, but...
Yeah, I knew it wasn't the gates because you sound like you got your clothespin on your nose there, Daryl. Go ahead.
Oh, no. Wow. Yeah, well, we working on AR-13 we picked up from Robert. Yeah, we got a D-104, but we're only doing the best we can what we got. But I've been looking for this rig for quite a while, so I got a little smile on my face, but I'm learning the ins and outs on this thing. This is an AR-13 with that don't have a dynamotor. That motor, that probably would have drove me crazy. But home-brewn power supply. But here it is. Here I am. Over.
All right, Daryl. You're going to want to correct your nomenclature on that so people know what you're running. It's the ART-13. Twice you called it the AR-13. And I started thinking about the RCA receiver, the AR-88. And then you mentioned a dynamotor. I said, that can be nothing else but the ART-13. Am I right?
Oh, you're right. See? I see. This thing is brand new. Oh, man. But you sounded good down here, man. Yeah, I'm getting that static crashes, too. And I'm on an old BC 348-Q receiver. They said these were some of them that was used when they had these things in the airplane back in the 40s. And, wow, both pieces still work. But I just want to say hello to you and hello to the other station. Static crashes got you know, down here. I can't hear the other station, but I definitely can hear you. No problem. So I'm just going to stand by and let this thing warm up a little more. I just turned it on about 5 minutes. So I'm going to say 73, and I'll be standing by a little bit. Over.
Okay, well, don't take my audio report too hard. The ART-13, I think, came with a push-to-talk carbon mic that really sounded like a telephone, and you're doing a lot better with the D-104 on there. It's just not the gates. And people will probably say that because they're accustomed to hearing you on the BC-1. But yeah, this has got a nice fully modulated signal, and it doesn't have the dynamotor whine, which itself can be kind of a neat thing. You know, you hear that thing power up. It gives you a certain sense of power having that cranking along like that. But I do like the quiet as well, so you're doing fine. I've got a BC 348Q, or is it an N? I forget which letter suffix I've got that I've never touched. It's one of those garage projects up in the rafters that I've never gotten to. But listen, my friend, I'm glad you called. I'm seeing a pretty good cell, weather cell, to the southwest of Alexandria, which itself is about 40 miles from here, maybe 30 as the seagull flies. And it looks like it's headed east. That's the static crashes I'm hearing. So let me get my hands on these PL-259s and send them to ground before it gets a little risky to be doing that. I'll catch you another evening when you get on here, Daryl. Congratulations on the new rig. It looks like Robert has done some massaging of that to get it sounding quite better than your typical ART-13. Take care. KD2AFL New Jersey, WA3 VJB Annapolis. Clear with you.
Okay, 73. Take care.